I want to explain to you real fast how to apply for a US passport this year, okay? So before I actually get into the nitty gritty, let me just tell you that if you need the latest info about applying for an official US passport, you want to go to the US Department of State's website. I'm giving you on the screen here. Here is the link, travel.state.gov. So there you have all the info you need. I mean, the info into this video is pretty solid, but laws change all the time, so you just want to really maybe double check with that website. Okay, so here are the steps I want you to really follow if you have to apply for a U.S. passport. First, you want to understand that you want to use the Department of State's form filler to actually fill out your form and print it. So for the best experience, you want to use a desktop or laptop computer. I mean, don't use a smartphone for this purpose. So check the info you entered if you did not get the form you expected. For example, let's say you have some misalignments when it comes to your date of birth or a previous passport issuance date. And if you are experiencing technical issues with the official's form filler, you want to download a PDF and complete your form by hand, okay? Or you can just go to the U.S. Embassy or consulate page if you are actually applying in a foreign country. Now, the thing is, when it comes to printing your application, make sure the image of the application covers the entire page, okay? So the primary application forms for a U.S. passport. So you have the application for a U.S. passport, form DS11, DS11. I'm showing this to you on the screen here. So if you're applying for the first time for your child who is under 18 or yourself, you actually want to really print the form, but don't sign it until the department asks you to do so. So that's for DS11. Then you have a DS82. So this is the renewal application. So eligible U.S. citizens can renew a passport online. Not eligible to renew online, you can renew by mail, by the way. You also have another form called DS5504. So that's for data corrections, some name changes, and limited validity passports. So if you need to change your or correct your passport, or you need to replace a limited validity passport, you can actually use this form. The thing is that there are actually forms for special situations. So you have a DS64, so reporting your valid passport lost or stolen. So form 64, you have statement of consent for issuing a passport to a child. Here you have DS3053. Okay, that's important. So you want to use this if one parent or a guardian cannot go with the child to apply in person for the child's passport. And so this, the parents or guardian should submit this special form with form DS11, okay? Then you have another form that you will love here is form Statement of Special Family Circumstances, DS5525. So you want to use this in limited circumstances if one parent or guardian cannot locate the other parent or guardian. The parent who is applying should submit this special form with form DS11. And then you also have a statement you did not receive your U.S. passport, DS86. So you want to use this if the department mailed your passport and you did not receive it within 2 weeks, okay, of them mailing it to you. Call them and they will actually help you complete this form. So next, you want to actually get processing times. I mean, that's important. So when it comes to having a U.S. passport, the processing times is usually 4 to 6 weeks, okay? Now, if you want expedited, you might have to pay for it, but the expedited process will actually take you 2 to 3 weeks. And if it's really urgent, if you need to have a U.S. passport urgently, you must make an appointment and have international travel within 14 calendar days, okay? So that's important. Now, you want to include the time your application is at one of the department's passport agencies or centers. You may get your passport on a different date than your family member or friend. And also, mailing times are not included in processing times. So something to really keep in mind, okay? So think about that. So 4 to 6 weeks, expedited 2 to 3 weeks, okay? And the one thing I want to say here is that there is the law, let's say the procedures change all the time. They used to actually slower back in the days, but the department has actually streamlined its application process. So nowadays you can get your paperwork real fast. Okay. Now there is a way for you to get your application status. So you can get a status on the day the department received your application in their system, or the day that they processed your request for expedited service. Okay. So there is actually an online passport status system. So you are able to enroll in email updates about your status, and the department will actually email you everything. Okay. You also have an application status page. So here, what happens here is that you are able to find out the status of your passport application, so you can have all the info that you need. Okay. That's kind of important, especially if you need to travel urgently. Okay. Now, if you need your passport sooner than you thought, you are able to call the National Passport Information Center at 1-877-487-2778. 1-877-487-2778 to actually request expedited service for an extra $60 fee. You may also add a 1 to 2 day delivery service of your completed passport book for an extra $21.36. Okay. Now, 1 to 2 day delivery is not available for passport cards. They only send cards via first class mail, so just be aware of that procedure. Next, you want to consider the cost of your passport. Okay, so now the passport fees are pretty static based on law. So basically, the fees you pay will depend on your age, if you want a passport book, passport card, or both documents, how fast you need your passport, and where you apply, whether you apply in the States or you apply overseas. Okay, so that's important. Now, what fees should you pay? For the passport book, DS11, you are speaking about $130. That's the application fee. The execution, in other words, the acceptance fee, you are looking at $35. For the passport card, you have application fee $30. Execution fee, you are looking at $35. And for the passport book and card, in other words, you have the two-in-one, you have the application fee $160 and the execution fee $35. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay. You are also able to pay an application fee to the U.S. State Department. So if you are an adult 16 years and older, you can renew your passport. Okay, you can renew by mail, or you can renew online. So that's totally possible, not a problem. And one thing I want to say here is that it's always important to use the department's fee calculator to learn how much you owe. If you have to really, maybe for instance, you want to execute a name change, you want to correct data errors, you want to order a passport book, a passport card, or both, you always have to you have the possibility to actually check the fees online. Okay. Now, so where you reside will have an important impact, because basically, if you live overseas, you will have to pay extra. So this is something to really account for when you do your budgeting. Okay, and that's important. Next, you want to submit a good photo. So when it comes to applying for a U.S. passport, you do have actually to abide by certain regulations. So let me talk to you about the passport photos here. So now let me give you a few photo tips before I get into the nitty gritty. You want to submit one color photo. Don't do anything black and white. You want to submit a recent photo taken in the last 6 months. Use a clear image of your face. Do not change your photo using computer software, phone apps, or filters, or even artificial intelligence. I mean, you have a lot of AI software nowadays that actually changes the photo. So don't do any of that. You want to have someone else take your photo. No selfies. Take off your eyeglasses for your photo, and use a white or off-white background without shadows, texture, or lines. Okay. Let me give you a few photo examples here, so I can really illustrate what I really mean. So I want to talk to you about shadows and lighting, size and position, resolution, print size and quality, digital changes, pose and expression, attire, hats and glasses, background, and children. Let's first talk about shadows and lighting. You can see on the screen here. Here is what I want you to really have, and this is coming straight from the federal government. Okay, so Department of State, those are instructions. So for shadows and lighting, this is what you want to aim for. Next, you want to have a size and position. So for size and position, this is what you want to aim for. This is what is acceptable. The head is centered and the correct size. Okay. Next, you have resolution, print size, and quality. So you can see what's really acceptable here. The photo is sharp without any visible pixels or printer dots, and the photo is actually printed on glossy or matte or quality paper. Next, you have photo examples for digital changes. So you can see this is not what you want to have in terms of digital changes. You can see that the lady here this is the second picture that you want to have in terms of digital changes. Next, about pose and expression. This is what you want to have in terms of photo examples. Okay. Next, you have attire, hats, and glasses. So the lady you have on the screen here this is the acceptable profile. The customer's full face is visible, and no shadows or clothing block the face. You can see what you do not want to have in at the bottom here. Next, you have background. So you can see what's really acceptable when it comes to background. So you have 3 types of acceptable backgrounds and 3 there are not. And finally, you have for children, you can see what's acceptable and what's not. If you are going to USPS to ship a package, let me give you a few tips and tools for measuring letters. Okay, now use these rulers and guide boxes to measure letters and large envelopes. So once a piece of mail exceeds the maximum length, height, or thickness of one ship, it automatically gets classified as the next largest ship. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the screen so it's pretty clear for everyone. So the maximum size for postcards and letters, the maximum size for postcards, the maximum size for letters, the maximum thickness for letters, and the maximum thickness for large envelopes. Okay, so large envelopes exceed one of the letter size maximum dimensions. Just keep that in mind. Now, there are unusual shapes and sizes. Okay, sometimes a piece of mail requires additional postage because it is of a certain shape or size that's kind of difficult on mail sorting machines. To make sure you are paying the correct postage, visit USPS.com. Okay, and there are examples of mail that could require additional package, like square envelopes on which the address is written parallel to the shorter edge square. So let me give you a few tips and tools for measuring packages. So basically, I want you to look on the screen here. Look carefully. This is actually a good guide to help you get things done real fast. So I'm showing you on the screen here. You have the first, you have all kinds of info in terms of measuring the length, the width, and the height of a package. The second, I'm showing you also the same thing, but you have a package that's a little bit in terms of triangular, if you will. Okay. Third, you have a package that's really a little oval, if you will. You have a guitar also. So if you have a guitar, this is how you actually calculate the length, width, and the height. If you are shipping, let's say, a tire or a tire shipped object, this is how you measure the height, the weight, and the width and the length. And finally, for the last item, this is how you do it. So, and for that, you have the girth also. That's important for oval items. You have an element of girth. So this is important if you are going to USPS to ship a package. You got to have a clear idea about those measurements and how to really how they affect pricing. Let me talk to you about flat rate, and I want to give you a quick reference when it comes to flat rate. Now, flat rate, just remember that flat rate is available for domestic and international. Okay, so that's kind of cool because it gives you a lot of flexibility. And for Priority Mail Express, You have the flat. I'll put this on the screen so you can just look at it. Please stop the video and just look at it. So flat rate envelope. Here you have the dimensions, legal flat rate envelope dimensions, and padded flat rate envelope. Here are the dimensions. And next you have a priority mail. So priority mail, you have more choices, if you will. So I'm showing you on the screen here what you have for flat rate envelopes, legal flat rate envelope, padded flat rate envelope, gift card flat rate envelope, small flat rate envelope, window flat rate envelopes, small flat rate box, medium flat rate boxes, and you have large flat rate boxes. So that's pretty good from a flexibility point of view. Okay, you can see the different sizes, and again, it's important to take some time to pay attention to the inside, the dimensions inside, but also the dimensions outside. Okay. Also for APO, FPO, DPO. So here we are speaking about military locations, but also a diplomatic outpost of the United States government. Okay. So if you are shipping to APO, FPO, and DPO, here is the info you need to really pay attention to. I'm going to put this on the screen once again. So for large flat rate boxes, this is what you have to have. For a large video box, if you're shipping to a military outpost, and so you have flat rate pricing for international only, and then also for DVD box. Okay, that's important. Also, you have flat rate pricing for international only. So now what I want to say here is that flat rate prices are available when material is sent in a USPS produced flat rate envelope or a box. So when sealing a flat rate box or a flat rate envelope, the container flaps must be able to close within the normal folds. Tip may be applied to the flaps and seams to reinforce the container, provided that the design of the container is not enlarged by opening the sides and the container actually is not reconstructed in any way. So if you are going to USPS to ship a package, let's talk about sending and receiving mail. So when it comes to sending mail, you can drop it in a blue collection box. You can leave it in your home mailbox. You can schedule a pickup, or you can take it to a post office. So that's pretty straightforward. If your item weighs more than 10 ounces and you have a fixed postage stamps, what you can do is that you can really take it to an employee at the retail counter of a post office. So a lot of flexibility there. Now, in terms of scheduling a pickup, very easy. So whether it's package pickup or a specific like time-specific pickup on demand, USPS pickup options make shipping your packages quick and convenient. Okay, so that's really good. Just go to the website or go through the app, or you can even call USPS 1-800-222-1811 if you need if you need some kind of info on pickups. Okay. Also, holding mail. If you plan to be out of town on business or vacation, you may want to temporarily stop delivery of your mail. So to have the Postal Service hold your mail up to 30 days, visit USPS.com. Call 1-800-ASK-UPS, USPS, Ask USPS, or fill out a hold mail at the post office. And when you return, you can either pick up your mail from the post office or have it delivered to your home. Also, you have a lot of flexibility when it comes to changing an address and mail forwarding. You have a premium forwarding service from USPS. You have the ability to have printing postage, signing for mail, okay? And you also have the possibility to have delivery if the recipient is not home. You have the possibility to restrict delivery of your packages. But please don't forget that there are certain items that are not actually, they are not actually permitted, okay? But before I speak about hazardous and restricted materials, don't actually ship also perishable items unless you have the right permission and authorization. So things like live animals, fresh fruits and vegetables, plants, those require extra caution. And when it comes to hazmats, things like from firearms all the way to lottery tickets, perfume, poisons, tobacco, and tobacco products, be very careful there as well. If you go into USPS to ship a package, let me give you other hacks to really think about. I want to talk about other products and services to keep in mind. Now, when you go to the local post office, you have the possibility to have international mail. You have a military mail, you have a money orders, you have passports. You are also able to get things done, like you can transact at the office. You can pay for merchandise. So for a small fee, you can send merchandise, let's say hold COD, hold for pickup, to domestic destinations, and have the postal service collect payment from the recipients and send it to you. That's pretty good in terms of convenience, really. And when I say military mail, said this to you a little earlier. Military and TP and diplomatic outpost, you can actually send mail to those destinations, not a problem. For international mail, you can mail postcards, letters, large envelopes, and packages from the U.S. to other countries, not a problem. And as with domestic mail, you can choose the best service based actually on speed. So the speed is really kind of critical here: speed, cost, and extra services. Now, customs declaration forms are required on most international packages, because the thing is that if you are entering somebody else's country, I mean, you got to really abide by the laws. That just makes sense. Now, all customs forms must be electronically generated. If you're not able to do this, take your handwritten customs form to any post office, and the retail clerk will be happy to submit the electronic information for you. Okay. And so you also, let me close to this conversation by giving you a few tips for frequent mailers and small businesses. If you are a frequent mailer or a small business, you might want to think about postage solutions. You might want to think about commercial prices. You might want to think about pickup on demand. That will help you big time. You can also think about package pickup. Also, think about free supplies. If you mail, let's say, a lot of Priority Mail Express or Priority Mail items, you can save trips to the post office by ordering packaging supplies, including envelopes and boxes, online at usps.com.shop, or by calling 1-800, again, 222-1811. So, in closure, in today's conversation, I spoke to you about what to do if you're going to USPS to ship a package. I gave you the best hacks and the other hacks, and finally the closure. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.